How's it going, everyone? Moku here, and just doing a quick video on the replay I did against Cell. Obviously, I'm on Kid Buu. I actually used the star strategy on Cell, and surprisingly enough, it worked. But you also got to take into consideration. Hopefully, they don't see their fight drops, and you hope they're all in the life. So this is just a kind of recap video, just to kind of show you guys that, unfortunately, it does work against Cell, even if you're playing another deck. I used to play sub myself, so it's very unfortunate that that you basically lose the game because your opponent doesn't want to swing at life. But yeah, nevertheless, let's get to the actual replay. So you see here, he just doesn't play anything, assuming I'm going to play out a 10k to rest his body. But I mean, the more the merrier. At least he doesn't establish, an 18 on board. Um, we take those hits all day. We don't worry about that. 17 as well. Yeah, he's forced to get cards out of his hand because since I'm not swinging at life, it makes his charges awkward. Sometimes you're forced to charge stuff that you don't want to. Like right there, I know he wanted to go into the early soul chain, but that took card out of his hand, so that's a win for us. Just because again, you make his hand size small and you're making him charge stuff that he doesn't want to charge. Or rather than me just swinging at life and giving him free cards, it makes his charge phase a lot more difficult. Even though right now he's trying to go wide into face, again, like as many of you know, playing on Taboo, you want to be awakened. It's just I didn't want to eat all those swings, so I was like, just use free cards. I guess he thought I was gonna give him cards on board, so that way he can avoid the Buhan. But how he negs it right here. That's why I specifically didn't do it. That way, just have a free cantrip, to pop a Buhan. So it's just free value for us. He went into the cell chain, but to be honest, at what cost? And here, I decided to do it because I was already awakened, and I didn't want him to go into 4 into 30 and then kind of just get more value out of my hand. So maybe I should have swung at the actual 4 drop and not at leader to give him an extra card. So I was misplaying my part right there. But again, I just didn't want him to swing with the 4 cost into life. If he swung 30, I could deal with 30. I just don't want to get hit with the 25, 30. I'll take 30 all day because at this point, like I said, like the name of the game is not awakening him and just having him deck out. That's why I was telling a friend of mine who plays Cell not to preemptively go into the Cell chains and just focus more on awakening. Just because you're burning your Cell chains and you don't even know if like 2 of them can possibly be in life. So once you burn whatever is available through you in your deck, it's just GG's. There's no like really other big factor in Cell besides the Cell chain and obviously the 40k leader swing. So here we just swing at whatever battle part he had rested. We go into a 5 into 4. I didn't feel the need to swing with double strike here just because it makes it easier for him to swing into, and this way it makes the plays more awkward for him to neg it and pop it. Again, we're not going to give him cards, nor am I going to swing into his 5 drop to give him a free body. Yes, he can pop it. That's fine. He can, it's a card off board for me, so I care less, to be honest. So here, he's forced to neg right here and then go into a Silver Junior just to neg the double strike. So that's a 10k out of his hand, which is always good for us because now that makes it susceptible if we do. Obviously, we don't have, the Naruto Buu in hand, but we did. It just makes his 10k more susceptible to our good swing. So it's 10k out of his hand. You see here we draw into it, so but we decided to go into, just three more cards out of his hand to Bobby into Buhan, because at this point he's on his back leg right here. 7 cards in hand, from my knowledge, obviously, I can see now in the replay he has no cell chain, but I would assume last turn since he didn't go into a cell chain, he didn't have it. And again, this is why I told a friend of mine, you don't preemptively go into cell chains. You focus more on awakening. I mean, every list is the same now. We copy the Japanese list where we have 4 Daimas, 3 to 4 self-awakening 18s. Use them, punish your opponent for giving you, free plays, not swinging at life, because this deck can easily, as in Cell, can, pop stuff, and it becomes free value for you, like, you see now, look at his, cards in deck, 9, so the game is being close to, getting ended, and as far as he's concerned, he probably thinks I have, what, 4 supers in hand? I'm sorry, if you wasn't paying attention to the, extra replay, So, see, from his knowledge, he probably thinks we have, yeah, all four supers in hand, so it becomes an uphill battle for him to try to go for game at this point. You know, with no leader swing at 40k nor cell chain, because every card he swings at life out of hand. It's just it makes the differentials harder for him on the crackback. You know, if I do decide to go for game, so here I guess he trying to weaken, but again, as we were saying earlier in the early game, he charged his Daimoku because I wasn't swinging at life. Wasn't getting no cards without him making his own plays to draw cards. He charges it, and this probably would have helped out. Ended up charging this as well. I don't remember what turn he charged this, but you see how he ended up charging Self Awakeners. That was a misplay on his part, just because again, that's a good way to counteract the star strategy. Because I tested also into Cell with SH, and I did the same thing, but my opponent, which is a friend of mine, he also self awakened and made the game a little more harder. And he also saw more. He saw 3 cell chains, so they weren't in his life. So you also gotta take that into consideration. This is not always gonna work. You just have to bank. They only see 2 of them, and the other 2 are in life, or whatever key pieces they need are in life. But this video is just mainly to show you guys that unfortunately the star strategy just does work against Cell. And yeah, it's just I see right here, he knew he lost. He soul chained on purpose right here. Just combo dog just because, hey, why not? And then he just loses after having no cards in the deck. So yeah, this is just more of a learning video for the players that do play. The players that do play Cell. Kind of just try to counteract. There's always ways to go around it. Don't let yourself get starved by your opponent. Doesn't matter who you're playing against, because it seems like any deck can do it. More decks than others because they have more versatility with their cards and everything, especially Buu and Piccolo, just because they want to get to the late game. They want to play out SH and play out their unlockability and so on and so forth. So just take that into account. You probably want to self awaken, especially if you're playing against green, because their first 3 turns are really nothing. They just play out 2 costs Gamma, 3 costs Gamma, Gohan. So like in those 3 turns, literally you can just go awaken, 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 and punish your opponent for not putting pressure at life while just gaining value. And you're sticking the body on board while they can't understand you want to turn stuff sideways. At that point, just swing at life, stuff like that. But yeah, it's just more education video for you Cell players, and myself included, because I played Cells at Bandai Fest. And yeah, I can't imagine losing because your opponent didn't want to swing at life and he's just playing not to lose. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and catch you guys next time.